Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, everyone. Discuss, discussed judges, and fellow debaters. Welcome to our debate competition today. My name is Saskia Anandanasha, and I will serve as both the moderator and timekeeper for today's session. Before we begin, let me briefly explain the flow and rules of the debate. One, each speaker will have 7 minutes to present their arguments, rebuttals, and conclusions. Two, points of information or POIs are allowed after the first minute and must be raised before the last minute of each speech. Three, time signals will be as follows. One clap indicates the start of POIs. Two claps indicates 1 minute remaining. Three claps indicate that time is up and the speaker must conclude immediately. We expect all participants to maintain respect, professionalism, and a spirit of constructive debate throughout the session. Now let us introduce the team for today's debate. Government team. Here we have Safan Idris as the opening government and Nabila as the closing government. And for opposition team, here we have Ziadi Rizak as the opening opposition and Cynthia Rahmalubis as the closing opposition. The motion for today's debate is this House would abolish primary and secondary schools grade or years that group children based on age and instead group them by competency and intelligence. Let us begin. I now invite the first speaker of the opening government to deliver this speech. You have 7 minutes to tell your arguments and the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to introduce myself. My name is Afan Idris. Under this motion, primary and secondary school grades grouped by age refers to the traditional system where students are placed in specific grades based solely on the chronological age. For example, children aged 6 until 7 are in first grade irrespective of their academic ability. Grouping by competency and intelligence means that students will be assessed on their actual skills and knowledge in specific subjects and placed in class uh, that match their individual level of understanding. For instance, a child with a child with advanced math skill might be placed in a higher level math class, while remaining in an appropriate level for other subjects like reading or science. The system promotes personalized learning and academic growth. The first major flaw in this is academic stagnation. When students are placed in a base group, uh, those who are advanced in certain subjects or skills might feel under challenged, while those who struggle might feel overwhelmed and left behind. According to the National Center for Education Statistics in 2022, approximately 50% of students report feeling disengaged with their studies because the pace of the classroom doesn't match their abilities. For many, this leads to a sense of frustration and disengagement from school. They are not being challenged in the areas where they excel or provide enough support in areas where they struggle. A poor example of this disparity can be seen with a 10 years old student who excels in mathematics but struggles with language arts. Under the current system, the student will be placed in a age-appropriate um, classroom where the test and curriculum are the same for all students, regardless of their strengths and weaknesses. Mm, as a result, the talent in mathematics goes untapped, and the difficulties with language arts might not receive the necessary attention. The student is forced to endure uh, general education program that doesn't cater to their unique needs. In contrast, a comprehensive-based grouping system will allow distant students to join advanced math classes um, where they could work alongside peers with similar strengths and skills. Meanwhile, they will receive targeted support in language arts, enabling them to overcome their struggle without feeling held back by the slower pace of the general classroom. This approach not only fosters growth in areas of strength, but also provides a tailored learning environment to address these necessities. In competency-based education model already showing positive outcomes in various educational systems around the world. Finland, for instance, the education system focuses heavily on individual competency, allowing students to progress through learning stage when they master the concept. The system has resulted in higher level of student engagement, achievement, and overall satisfaction with the education. By removing egg-based uh, constraints and instead focusing on material concepts, students are empowered to take ownership of their learning process and develop at their own pace. Additionally, this approach fosters a growth mindset where students understand that intelligence and abilities are not traits determined by age. Uh, Instead, students are encouraged to embrace their individual learning journeys, celebrating their achievement and improvement. This can significantly boost self-esteem and motivation, particularly for students who might feel outdated, or demotivated by traditional grading system. Um, in conclusion, bridging academic disparities through community-based grouping our students the opportunity to grow at their own pace, cultivate their weaknesses by working at this group, remove the one-size-fits model that fails to meet the needs of a diverse student body. Instead, we can create an educational system that is more inclusive, motivating, and effective, preparing students for lifelong learning and success. Thank you very much. That's all.
Are you finished, Safan Idris?
Yes,
Okay. Now let me invite the second speaker and first speaker of the opposition team, Ziadi Rizak. Wait a minute. Okay, time is yours. I'm sorry, Ziadi Rizak, your voice is too low. Can you loud it?
Okay, okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, adjudicators, and esteemed member of the floor. My name is Yati Rizak as the opening opposition. Today, we get to debate an educational policy that could fundamentally reshape how students are grouped and taught in school. The motion before us is this House would abolish primary and secondary school grades or years that group children based on age and instead group them by competency and intelligence. At first glance, grouping students based on competency and intelligence may appear as a logical step to enhancing personalized education and addressing inequalities. However, as the opposition, we firmly stand against this motion. We believe that grouping students by age is not only practical, but also essential for fostering holistic development, combining academic success with social and emotional growth. Abandoning age-based grouping in favor of competency-based system introduce significant risks that could harm students in the long term. To begin with, age-based groupings play a crucial role in fostering social development, which is equally important as academic progress. In classrooms, where students are grouped by age, they are engaged with peers navigating similar cognitive and emotional stages. This shared developmental context creates opportunities for students to build essential social
Dari awal,
Iya.
okay, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Safanelli. Under this motion, primary and secondary school grades group by age refers to the traditional system where students are placed in specific grades based solely on their clinical age. For example, children aged 6 until 7 are in first grade irrespective of their academic ability. Grouping by competency and intelligence means that students will be assessed based on their actual skills and knowledge in specific subjects and placed in classes that match their individual level of understanding. For instance, a child with advanced math skills might be placed in a higher level math class while remaining in an appropriate level for other subjects like reading or science. This system promotes personalized learning and academic growth. Uh, the first major flaw in age-based classroom is academic stagnation. When students are placed in age-based groups, those who are advanced in certain subject or skill may feel under challenged, while those who struggle might feel overwhelmed and left behind. According, uh, according to the National Center for Education Statistics 2022, approximately 50% of students report feeling disengaged with their students because uh, disengaged with their studies because the pace of the classroom doesn't match their abilities. For many, this leads to a sense of frustration and disengagement from school, as they are not being challenged in the area where they excel or provide enough support in area where they struggle. A prime example of this disparity can be seen with a single of students who excel in mathematics but struggle with language arts. Under the current system, the student will be placed in an age-appropriate classroom where the pace and curriculum are the same for all students, regardless of their strengths and weaknesses. As a result, their talent in mathematics gets unpaid, and their difficulties with language arts might not receive the necessary attention. The student is forced to endure a general education program that doesn't cater to their unique needs. In contrast, a community-based grouping system will allow distant students to join advanced math classes, where they could work alongside peers with similar strengths and skills. Meanwhile, they would receive target, target support in language arts, enabling them to overcome the struggle without feeling held back by the slower pace of the general classroom. This approach not only uh, foster growth in areas of strength, but also provide a tailored learning environment to other weaknesses. Competency-based education models are already showing positive outcomes in various educational settings around the world. In Finland, for instance, the education system focuses heavily on individual competencies, allowing students to progress through learning stage when they master key concept. The system is result in higher level of student engagement, achievement, and overall certification. with their education. By removing age-based uh, constraints and instead focusing on mastery of concepts, students are empowered to take ownership of their learning process and develop their own pace. Additionally, this approach fosters a growth mindset where where students understand that intelligence and ability are not fixed determined by age. Instead, students are encouraged to embrace their individual learning by uh, to embrace. Okay,
Jadir, what your PI?
Uh, uh, Point of information is, but doesn't this approach risk creating an even greater divide between students, especially if they are grouped by ability? Could we not end up with students of different competencies having less interaction with each other? Thank you.
okay, let it. Let's go. While it's true that competency-based group might reduce direct age-based interaction, this doesn't mean that students will learn from one another. In fact, students um, working together on tasks and that match their skill level can encourage collaboration and peer mentoring. Moreover, we can incorporate cross-group projects and collaborative activities that allow students of varying competencies to interact and learn from each other. That's it. Okay. Um, in conclusion, bridging academic disparities through competency-based grouping over students are opportunity to grow at their own pace, cultivate their strength, and receive failure support by their weaknesses. By abolishing age group, we remove the one-size-fits-all model that fails to meet the needs of the diverse student body. Instead, we can create educational system that is more inclusive, motivating, and effective, preparing students for lifelong learning and success. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sabanetris. Now let me invite the second speaker and the next speaker of opposition team. Jadi, jadi Rizak, time is yours.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and educators and esteemed members of the club. My name is Zaid Rizal as the opening official. Today, we get the debate and educational policy that fundamentally reshape how students are grouped and taught in school. The motion before us is this House abolish primary and secondary school grades or years. They group children based on age and instead group them by competency and intelligence. At first glance, grouping students based on both competency and intelligence may appear as a logical step toward enhancing personalized education and addressing inequalities. However, as the opposition, we firmly stand against this motion. We believe that grouping students by age is not only practical, but also essential for fostering holistic development, combining academic success with social and emotional growth. Abandoning age-based groupings in favor of competency-based system introduces significant risks that could harm students in the long term. To begin with, age-based grouping play a crucial role in fostering social development, which is equally important as academic progress. In classrooms where students are grouped by age, they engage with peers navigating similar cognitive and emotional stages. This shared developmental context creates opportunities for students to build essential social skills such as empathy, teamwork, and conflict resolution, skills that will serve them throughout their life. For instance, research by the American Psychological Association, or APA, shows that early childhood education in age-based settings fosters social competence, which directly contributes to mental health and success in adulthood. In contrast, competency-based grouping risks isolating students based on their academic abilities, creating environments where social interaction is limited. Students placed in lower competency groups may experience stigma and diminished self-esteem, while those in higher competency groups might feel socially isolated or disinclined to collaborate with peers who struggle. Such stratification could lead to long-term social and emotional harm, counteracting any academic benefits. Moreover, age-based groupings ensure that students develop in a cohesive and inclusive environment. Children of similar age share common challenges and milestones, reducing feelings of isolation. Studies, such as one conducted by the University of Chicago Consortium on School Research, highlight that peer interaction in age-based classroom significantly boosts engagement and academic outcomes. These interactions naturally encourage collaboration and a sense of belonging, fostering both individual and collective success. Globally, successful education system underscore the importance of age-based groupings. Take Finland, for example, where collaborative learning with age-based classroom is, is a cornerstone of the highly effective education model.
POI, please.
Yes, thanks. Yes, please.
Okay. Well, you said that Finland's success in education is because age-based grouping, right? Finland's success isn't just about age-based grouping. It's their focus on personalized learning that matters. Given its flexibility, a competency-based system could still use these strategies and might even be more effective. Do you believe Finland's success relies more on age-based grouping than its overall educational approach?
Okay, thank you. Uh, while personalized learning is vital, age-based grouping support social and emotional development. It allows students to grow with peers at similar stages, fostering collaborations and understanding. Competency-based grouping might disrupt this balance and lead to feelings of isolation, harming the cohesion you see in Finland system.
Uh, but wouldn't a competency-based system with proper support still allow students to develop socially while addressing their individual needs more effectively? Couldn't this flexibility enhance both academic and social growth instead of harming balance?
Competency-based system could work academically, but they risk creating divisions or labels, isolating students socially. Social development isn't just about academic, it's about empathy and teamwork with peers at similar stages. Finland age-based groups maintain strong social bonds, which could be harder to preserve in a purely competency-based system. Well, I will continue my arguments. Additionally, competency-based groupings will exacerbate existing social inequalities. Students from disadvantaged backgrounds or those with special educational needs might disproportionately end up in lower competency groups, limiting the exposure to high achieving peers and reinforcing educational divides. The OECD's 2019 study on educational equity revealed that rigid ability-based segregation harms social integration and creates wider academic disparities. Such system risks creating a cycle where students in lower competency groups are left behind academically and socially, further enhancing inequity. In conclusion, abolishing age-based grouping in favor of competency-based system overlooks the broader purpose of education to prepare students for life, not just for academic tests. Age-based classroom provide a balanced environment where students grow academically, socially, and emotionally in parallel. While competency-based grouping might seem like a step forward child education, it undermines inclusivity, collaboration, and emotional well-being, pillars that are vital for a child overall development. Instead of dismantling the age-based system, we should
Time.
focus on enhancing. Thank you.
Okay, now let me invite the third speaker or the second speaker of government team to Evinadila. Time is yours.
Well, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thanks for the opportunity that has given to me. Ladies and gentlemen, honorable judges, respected opponents and fellow debaters, my name is Evina Dila and I am as the closing government. I will take this debate further by demonstrating how competency-based grouping not only improves individual outcomes but also transforms societal structures and show why competency-based grouping isn't just a better way to educate. It's the only way forward if we want to create a system that's fair, effective, and future-ready. Well, no, I have to rebut first what the opposition said before, that this system could harm social bonds or isolate students. Honestly, that's just not true. Countries like New Zealand shows us how this works. They integrate mentorship and groups projects, making sure students of different competency levels work together. Let's compare. In age-based system, advanced students get bored, struggling ones feel left behind, and everyone in between just coasts. Competency-based grouping, on the other hand, ensures every student is challenged and engaged. That's why we firmly believe that this system, competency-based grouping, could not harm the social bonds of any students. Let's be real. The world is changing so fast. Employers today don't just look at how old you are when you graduate. They care about your skills, your ability to adapt. Competency-based grouping mirrors this reality. It ensures students move forward when they are ready, not when the calendar says they should. Industries today are looking for skills like critical thinking, problem solving, and digital literacy, skills that competency-based education can provide more efficiently. In fact, 81% of employers globally says that a lack of soft skills is a significant challenge for new hires. Competency-based grouping ensures that these skills are prioritized over arbitrary age-based standards. This system doesn't just help individuals, it sparks innovation for society. When students can specialize yearly, they can achieve amazing things. A great example is South Korea. Their advanced science and technology education system, which uses competency-based grouping, has contributed to the country's rapid economic development and its status as a leader in technology and innovation. In fact, South Korea is consistently ranked among the top 5 most innovative countries in the world by the Global Innovation Index. South Korea's emphasize on specialized competency-based education has allowed them to produce world-leading companies like Samsung and LG, both known for their cutting-edge technology. Competency-based education has enabled students to excel in specific areas such as engineering and technology, propelling the country forward in the global economy. Well, the opposition is worried about labeling and stigma, right? But come on, labeling already happens in age-based systems. Students who fall behind and repeat grades, that's that's labeling. At least in competency-based system, the focus is on progress, not punishment. With the right approach, like celebrating milestones and providing mentorship, a system actually builds confidence rather than tearing it down. Let's talk about fairness. The opposition claims this system might increase inequality, but that's backward. Competency-based grouping actually helps students who are struggling by identifying gaps yearly and giving them the support they need. Finland does this beautifully according to the European Commission's Finland's education system focuses on individualized learning needs and yearly interventions. And as a result, Finland boasts one of the lowest dropout rates in the world at just 5.3%. This yearly intervention ensures that struggling students aren't left behind, as opposed to age-based systems where they may be paced along without sufficient support. Studies shows that yearly identification of learning gaps can reduce dropout rates by up to 60%. This is how you close gaps, not widen them. The opposition says again about this. This could entrench social divides, but age-based systems are the real culprit here. They let struggling students fall through the cracks, while competency-based model actively intervene. Yearly intervention isn't a theory, it's proven to work. Finland's system, for example, has shown that when students receive personalized support from the start, they can reach their potential, leading to better outcomes for all. And this is what we call. Yes, you want to give the PI, Jadir?
Point of information, you argue that competency-based grouping help with future workforce, red lines. But how do you respond to the concern that not all students are mature now to handle the individualized learning path, especially at a young age? But the system potentially overwhelmed? Thank you.
Thank you for your PI. Well, it's important to clarify that competency-based grouping doesn't mean that students are left entirely to their own devices. The system is designed to provide structured guidance through mentors, teachers, and support networks. Moreover, it's not about expecting students to be independent right away. It's about supporting their growth and giving them the tools they need to succeed at their own pace. In fact, studies from Finland's education system shows that when students are given more autonomy and responsibility over their learning, they actually become more motivated and resilient in the long term. The key here is that students are supported throughout the process rather than being left to flounder on their own. Competency-based grouping encourages students to grow and progress at their own pace, which mean that struggling students get help they need, and more advanced students are constantly challenged, avoiding boredom and disengagement. That's why this is so important to be understood. Can you accept it? Okay. Finally, this system fosters a growth mindset. In age-based system, students feel trapped by deadlines and labels. Competency-based grouping changes that. It teaches students that progress is personal and that efforts pays off. These are lessons that stick with them for life. The opposition says before, students won't develop socially, but that's just wrong. Students in competency-based system still participate in clubs, support sports, and school events where they mix with peers of all ages and abilities. Plus, this system builds resilience and adaptability, skills that make students better at navigating relationships and challenges. So here, the bottom line, competency-based grouping isn't just about improving grades. It's about preparing students for the real world, fostering innovation, and leveling the playing field. Let's not cling to a system that's holding us back. It's time to move forward and create an education system that works for everyone. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Abby. So now I invited the last speaker and the second speaker of opposition team to Cynthia Rahmalubis. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed judges and fellow debaters, my name is Cynthia Rahmalubis. As the closing opposition, I stand before you to demonstrate why the proposed shift to competency-based grouping is flawed and ultimately harmful. While the closing government has outlined some theoretical benefits, we must critically examine the underlying implication of their argument. It is important to recognize that age-based grouping is not only a safer approach, but one that better supports the social, emotional, and academic well-being of students. The social and physiological impact of competency-based grouping. Let's address the social development of students. The closing government claims that competence-based grouping ensures that students are challenged at their own level, but they overlook the psychological consequence of grouping students based on competency. For students who are not as academically advanced, being faced with peers of higher competency could be devastating. It can lead to feelings of inferiority, embarrassment, and alienation. This is particularly concerning because many students are already facing exposure, and such a system would exacerbate these emotional burdens. Well established that peer relationships are crucial to student social development. Research from the American Psychological Association showed that students who interact with their peers of the same age range not only benefit from academic collaboration but also build important social skills like communication, conflict resolution, and empathy. Competency-based grouping, however, limits this interaction by isolating students according to their academic performance, depriving interaction them of these key opportunities to develop their social intelligence. This leads to the risk of creating a system where students are not just divided by skill level, but by social status, deepening the divide between those the excel and those who struggle. Furthermore, competency-based system often fail to account for the fact that academic competency is not static. Students can fluctuate in their performance, and the emotional tool, constant assessment, and pressure the perform may increase level of anxiety and stress, especially for students who are already struggling. A survey by the National Center for education statistic found the students who are placed in remedial programs often well marginalized, which affected their mental health and led to lower academic esteem. The risk of exclusion and stigma. The closing government argues that mentorship program and group project will prevent the social exclusion of students in competency-based system. However, this does not address the deeper issue of stigma associated with being categorized and below the desired competency level. Let's not burden this label on matter students are aware the work standing and the psychological impact of being branded as less competent is not something that can be easily overcome with mentorship program or group tasks. In an age-based system, every student has the same opportunity to succeed at their own pace without the added burden and of being labeled or judged prematurely. This eliminates the risk of self-fulfilling prophecies, where students who are placed in lower competency group begin the internalized in idea that they are less capable, which can create a cycle of academic disengagement. Research from the Educational Endowment Foundation highlight that the lack of a student standard support system in competency-based system means that some students may not receive to proper emotional and educational support needed to cope with their
Your eye,
categorization.
please. Your eye, please.
Yeah.
Okay. The point information. So you mentioned the grouping student by competency leads to emotional alienation, but it's not more harmful to be struggling students in a system that doesn't allow them to progress their own pace. Please, you can descriptive this.
Okay, thank you for the question. The key issues here is the psychological tool that comes with being constantly compared to more advanced peers. In age-based systems, students are encouraged to collaborate and learn at their own pace while still benefiting from group cohesion and social interaction. In competency-based system, the struggling student face constant comparison, which leads a higher likelihood of academic disachievement and social isolating. Of exclusion and stigma, the closing government argues that mentorship program and group project will prevent the social exclusion of students in competency-based system. However, this does not address the differences of stigma associated with being categorized as below the desired competency level. Let's not burden this level on whether students are aware of their standing and the psychological impact of being branded as less competent. Is in a NSBIT system, every student has the same opportunity to succeed at their own pace without the added burden of being labeled or judged prematurely. This eliminates the risk of self-revealing prophecies, where students who are placed in lower competency group begin in internalize the idea that they are less capable, which can create a cycle of academic assessment. Research from the Educational Endowment Foundation highlights that the lack of standardized support system in competency-based system means that some students may not receive the proper emotional and educational support needed to cope with their categorization. This is reinforced a growth limiting mindset where students believe their current position in the system determines their future success regarding regardless of their potential. The risk of exclusion is not the theoretical real world issue that could perpetuate educational inequalities. Practical challenge in implementation now shift to the practical challenge of implementing a competency-based system national.
Time's up.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, guys, thank you so much to all participants for your well thought out arguments, and to the judges and audience for their support and attention. This conclusion today's debate. Congratulations to all teams for the efforts and fruitful discussion. We hope you gain valuable insights, and we wish you all the best for the future. Thank you and have a great day, everyone.